gifted and able to cook. I spoke to Father O'Malley, and he recommended you. I have written to your mother, and she has said I may contact you. So I would like to introduce myself to you. Writes a little bit more. So that's 3 months more. She writes back, Dear Daniel O'Shea, I am an educated Irish woman. I am God-fearing. I attend church regularly. I do like to cook. And I'm interested in coming to America to marry you. It's 1 year, and now it's 2 years. He sends her a letter and the money for a boat ticket. I will meet you in New York City on this date. 3 months to get there. It takes her about 3 months to travel. So all in all, it takes 2.5 years before they ever meet. Please tell me, when you send somebody an SMS on your phone, how long do you wait for an answer before you freak out? 30 seconds? You want to go to lunch? Why aren't you answering? 2.5 years. 30 seconds.
And he liked the hair after he's...
Oh, they were married and had 13 kids, so it must have been okay, but could you imagine doing that over SMS now? Hi, what's up? I'm Daniel. Want to marry? Why aren't you answering? All right, now we move into international markets, which is just where we're sending our stuff. The technology that's there has allowed us to move forward. Huh?
Most of your slides are paint, right?
Well, yeah, they are. But in general, what's going to happen is the last thing we're going to go over, we'll go over the specific topics because they've changed them. What it is I know of 8 questions that have been asked in the past. And on the specific topics, they sent me the updated list yesterday. So because I know of 8 questions, I hint every one of the 8 questions. I haven't even looked at the updated topics. So I'm going to open it with you. It'll be the last thing we do. And there'll be 6 topics in there. And so if it doesn't apply, then you just ignore it. Okay? But I want to get you hint each of the questions. So there's 8 questions that I know of. They choose 6 that they sent. So then that way you'll know at least the ones. Okay? The reason I'm going to talk about this, and it has nothing to do with a hint, there is a book I would suggest everybody in this class read. It's called The World is Flat. It's by an author called Thomas Friedman. The World is Flat. Now, it deals with globalization. And he says the world is so much smaller today than it was 20 years ago. Because I can get online, I can find a company, I can have an order filled like that. I have a friend in America. His company is worth $27 million. His office is this big. He does all of his business on a mobile phone. That's it. He doesn't manufacture anything. He buys, he resells. He does supply chain, supply and demand around the world. His company's worth $26 million. Last year he made $250,000 from his phone in a small little room. The reason I want you to read The World is Flat, Thomas Friedman talks about McDonald's. You guys have McDonald's here, right? Drive-through. You pull up, you make your order through the little speaker, and then you pull up and you pick up your food, right? In America right now, half of the McDonald's in the US use the same system. Except when you pull up to the microphone, your order is sent to Bangalore, India, where some Indian guy in a call center is taking your order. Hi, I'd like a Big Mac, a large fry, and a large Coke. It's transmitted around the world to India. The guy types in the order. It's transmitted back to the McDonald's, where some kid with pimples is making hamburgers.
Hamburger?
Yeah.
Please. No more.
I want you to think about that one for a second. It's cheaper and more effective for them to send your order over the internet to a guy sitting in India to type in the order to send it back than it is to pay someone at McDonald's in Indiana, the state of Indiana in America. So your order travels halfway around the world. It's typed into a computer. It's sent halfway back around the world so some kid can make your Big Mac. This is the world we're living in today. That's why that book is amazing. Okay? Last 2, environment. We have to be wary of the environmental effects of our behaviors. Are we damaging the environment? Are we killing the planet? Are we killing ourselves? 50 years ago, did we care? Did the companies care? No. Doesn't matter. Nobody knew, but nobody thought about it. And it was cheaper just to destroy things now. So as a company, we need to look at it. How will our actions affect the environment, the world around us? Okay? Now, these are the 4 things that come in. Shortages of raw materials. If you're in a company that makes furniture, you have to pay more now for the wood than you used to. Why? Because wood is not as plentiful. And the same kind of wood is not as plentiful. Second, increased pollution. Do I even need to talk about that one? Not really. I used to live in China. The pollution levels were so bad where I lived, every day you were just breathing the normal air was equal to smoking 2 packs of cigarettes, even if you didn't smoke. Just standing on the corner was equal to smoking 2 packs of cigarettes. That's how dirty it was. No, just the air there. So imagine if you smoked. All right, it's equal to smoking 3 packs of cigarettes, 4 packs of cigarettes. Imagine what that's doing to your lungs. Okay? In America, I was at a lake once when I was a kid. You could take a match, put it in the lake, and the whole lake would light on fire. Because there was so much pollution and oil and gasoline in the water. Now, not only would it light on fire, but tell me, are there any fish alive in that river? No. Okay? Increased government intervention. The government spends more laws because they have to tell you to clean up what you're doing. And the last one that we talk about this is the sustainable strategies. What does the word sustainable mean? Prolonging it and keeping it going. So if you want to make furniture, you spend the money to plant the trees. Every tree you cut down, you plant another one. Okay? Now, last one is legal. This one gets people in all kinds of trouble business-wise because the laws in different countries are different. Again, if I were driving on the road and you cut me off and I show you the middle finger, what would happen to me in Kuwait?
Hi.
Oh, I get arrested. It's against the law. I know people do it, but it's against the law here. Okay? So these different laws can get you in all kinds of trouble. Just recently, the UAE ambassador to Switzerland was fined €3 million for the way that he treated his maid. In the UAE, it would be acceptable, demanding that she work 6 days a week, 16 hours a day. In Europe, the working hours are no more than 40 hours per week, period. If you work more, you're paid overtime. Physically, he would lock the door of the room that she was in every night because they were afraid she'd run away. In the UAE, that's normal, that's common. Europe, it's against the law. He held her passport and wouldn't give it back to her. It happens here all the time, doesn't it? Tell me, guys, yes or no? Does it happen in Kuwait? The employers will hold your passport? Yes. Yeah, because they're afraid you'll run away. Is it against the law in Kuwait? It is. Yeah. Yes, but does it still get done? No. A lot. In the UAE, it's almost everybody. When ATMS asked for mine, I told them to jump in a lake. Go jump in the ocean. It's against the law. Oh, well, then we don't need it. But if I didn't know it was against the law, okay, here you go. Knowing the laws can come back and bite you if you're not careful, all right? Now, here's the deal. Oh, look, we're quoting again. The prophet of marketing, Kotler. Marketing takes a day to learn, takes a lifetime to master. All right? So there's a couple of small hints in here, mainly they're for the MCQs. There's one essay question on the old exam that dealt with pestle and SWOT. That's why I did the hints. I don't think it's on the new exam, so I'm going to kind of tell you what we covered is good enough. Is that good for Unit 2? Any questions? No? Let's see if I can